Hello and welcome everyone to Bullets 29 Gaming. My name is Bullets 29 and we're going to be doing a session today. One of the questions a lot of people have had so far has been about Miss Scarlet. Now, Miss Scarlet is one of our main characters for our sessions. She is one of pretty much our lead character in the sessions for the D&D campaign. She has gone through quite a bit. And one of the questions I have been asked quite a few times now is, what about her spirit walk? What's so unique about her spirit walk? What's so unique about what's happened? A lot of people want to know exactly what happened. A lot of people want to know exactly what transpired to make Scarlet who she is. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give you the story, the full story of Miss Scarlet. The story of a girl who had lost her way, lost her path for so long, and has now come to the realization of who she is. And most importantly, what's transpired from her life. So what we're going to do is real quickly is we're going to jump over once we do our intro for our sponsors. I want Scarlet to give us a rundown of who she was before the Spirit Walk. So everyone has an idea of who she was before she found out who she really was. Scarlet, or Curly, as we call her in our Discord, she has gotten very close to this character, and I want her to kind of walk through her experience a little bit beforehand before we dive into her spirit walk, recreating her spirit walk, just so you have an idea of what's going on. So real quickly, shout out to our sponsors, Rogue Energy, aka Racing, and W Energy. They provide great resources for gamers like energy drinks, supplements, shaker bottles, starting about $21.99 and up. Use the Bullets 29 Bullets 29 code to get 15 to 10% off your purchase. The other one that we have is AK Racing. AK Racing provides gaming chairs and tables, tops, and things like that for gamers alike, not only in the US but across the world. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and jump on over to where Miss Scarlet is at. Now, Miss Scarlet, we are on a blank screen right now, so no one will know exactly what's going on. But I kind of want you to give us a rundown of how things transpired with you. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to turn your sound up a little bit because I can't hear you well enough.
Oh, there. Is that better? I put the mic closer to me. That's better.
There you go. Now I can hear you a little bit better. Okay.
There we go.
Well, no, I had to turn the volume up on the Discord so they could hear you. So, Miss Scarlet, I want you to kind of give us a rundown of exactly what's transpired from. Give us a little bit of rundown of your story, a little bit of rundown on who you are, what's transpired, and a little bit more entail of you before your spirit walk, as well as kind of a little bit of a rundown on how your spirit walk the first time went before we start diving into this.
So, as you're gonna see with her, she, at the beginning of her life, as you have met her parents throughout the session, what happened was when she was young, I'm gonna say about 14, if I remember correctly. She was about 14 years old, 13 years old.
Shoot, yeah, you were in like your early teens, so I think you were about 13. I think you were 13 at the time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and what happened was, her clan was killed by the trolls that you guys met in the D&D session. The enemy troll clan was definitely against like what her family was doing, against the druid ways, and were more on the dark side of things. And eventually, I guess what happened was they wanted to get the revenge about everything and ended up killing her entire druid clan in front of her. She was the only one that lived, and she never knew why she was the only one alive. Why would they keep her? You killed everyone in front of me. Why would you kill me? So the fact that they kept her alive was always a question in her mind as to why. Also at that time, the troll leader ended up capturing her and kept her captive for 4 years, denying her true druid powers and denying how to become a druid in the ways of her family, because she was learning, but not to the extent of as you see now in your sessions. So she got denied a lot of that. Eventually she ended up escaping 4 years later at about the age of 17, 18, escaped and went to Korothia, and that's where her way was to help people. So she would kind of travel, help people with little, menial tasks, like maybe helping someone carry their...
I was gonna say she was primarily just a mercenary. She was just pretty much taking side jobs and wasn't really using her powers really at all because she didn't really know how to use them. So she was primarily just doing contracts. You see job tasks, like kind of like today how we have people that have like contract jobs where they're like they're short-term contract jobs. So like hey, yeah, here's a 6-month job, you're gonna be doing this for 6 months. This person is gone for having a baby, stuff like that. That's pretty much what she was doing for a long time, actually. If I remember correctly, that's what she was pretty much doing for a while. So, and then that's when you first got connected with Thois for the first time, was in Korothia. And the first, not kind of the first order, but the first group of heroes, I guess you could say, went and did tasks and things like that. And then after that, you guys kind of just went separate for a while. I don't know how much time went by, but some time went by until finally you actually got where you are now. So, yeah. But then during that time too, though, didn't you also, your mentality was a lot different too, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, like she knew she could do more, but it wasn't, like she didn't feel like it was enough, and she always thought that because her family was all dead, she thought that she was all by herself. So she didn't really realize, like she thought, oh, my parents are dead, they're not watching me, blah blah blah, they're dead, they're in heaven or whatever, however you take that. But yeah, she never really knew. But also at the back of her mind, she was always conscious to explain who she is, because she didn't want to really tell any other people who she was, in case if they worked for the Troll Clan or somehow managed to tell the leader that, hey, you know, Scarlet's here. So she always had her head turned at every corner behind her back. She was always very cautious in that department, making sure that she was always safe, because she always felt that the leader of the trolls was always behind her. Like, she always thought he's like just stalking me in an alleyway or something. So she was always very cautious of that. So you'll definitely really see that mentality and how it's definitely shifted since the Guru sessions we've all been watching. So that'll be fun. I think you guys will enjoy that. How very different she is now. And like I said, I've said it a few times, but this Spirit Walk was amazing for me, because like I said, I didn't enjoy playing her at first, and now she's like my favorite character, just like Bullets loves his voice. And how some of our little memories that was a little mentioned in the earlier sessions of, yeah, like forest on fire. Yeah, she wasn't happy with that person.
Yeah, I was gonna say she was her mentality and her personality style was not like what it is today. It was pretty much more along the lines of a I really don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and no one's gonna stop me. I think that's pretty much what her mentality was, until following her spirit walk. And this is why I tell people all the time. I said, your mentality, or your actual mindset of who you were then and who you are now has definitely changed through your experience of your spirit walk. And that's the whole point of a spirit walk, so to kind of get more in tuned and get a little bit more insight on your character. Now, if you're a DM that's wanting to do spirit walks and things like that, the best thing I can tell you is to have your characters write a backstory. Have your characters write a backstory and do it as detailed as possible, which is what I told Curly to do, which is why when her spirit walk happened, it was so emotional. I think that was the first time I almost made her cry. I think that was the first time she was almost in tears.
No, you actually did make me
cry. I did make you cry. I actually did. That was the first time I made you cry.
Yep.
That was the first time I made her cry, and that says a lot about a DM. Someone who can actually get somebody involved and indulged inside their character to the point where they're so emotionally attached. That's when you know you're a good DM. So, anything else you want to add, Miss Curly?
No, I think the spirit walk will explain the rest of it, really.
All right. Are you ready, madam?
Yes.
All right, without any further ado, let us go ahead and pursue forward with Order of the Wolf, Scarlet's Spirit Walk. All right. Miss Curly. Or I should say, Miss Scarlet. Yes, I will be. Okay. You are currently in Crothia. You're in a bar. your party that you were just with before kind of finished their task. They kind of are starting to say their goodbyes. Everyone's starting to depart their own ways. And do their own things. Some time goes by. And you start to do tasks. Tasks that are on boards. Help, I need help finding somebody. I need this job done. My crops were stolen from these evil trolls. I need your help with this. You start to become more of what's called a mercenary task person, so to say. You start to push forward with no sense of direction. Your life, you feel, in a sense, is just to serve people. Just to do your own thing and not to be bothered. You do miss your group. You miss your connections that you made. You miss your people that you've had, and most importantly, you miss the purpose that you had with that mission. But all good things must come to an end. And some time has gone by. A couple of years have gone by. And one day, you just finish your task. You hear news that the troll clan to the north, to the west, have taken over your hometown, Duskfall. While the town to the south of Duskfall lie in ruins. And your heart feels heavy about it. But you continually tell yourself, it's not my problem. There's no one else to do anything for, no one else to do such things. There's no purpose, there's no sense of it. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, live my life. Do what I want to do. That's all I know. You hear this news of all this moving forward. One day, you complete a job, and you walk into an inn. Walk up to the bar, get a drink. Bartender goes, how's it going, Scarlet? Good to see you again. Who'd you help today? You throw it on the bill, the task that you had. You go, oh! You helped Dugar, the butcher. What was it this time?
Oh, he had to make sure that the meat was perfectly marbled and needed my opinion, and make sure I put some extra seasonings on it with some herbs. He was asking for advice about that.
Well, Dugar, so he is always so particular about his products. But that's why he's the best. It's the only meat I ever buy from anyone. And again, he looks up in the air, concerned at the thought, fortunately, he's the only one I can buy meat from. No problem. What can I get you?
Can I get a Thornwood Sangria, please?
Absolutely. It'll be 3 gold pieces, or 3 copper pieces, please.
Here you go, kind sir.
Alright, you throw the 3 copper pieces down on the ground. On the table. Well, I'm about ready to finish up here. Go and take your time. I'm guessing you need a room tonight.
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Alrighty. Same room as always, number 4. Top floor. Street level.
Perfect, thank you.
Perfect. I'll make sure I do my best. I think Milorn has or taking care of your linen. She's a walk right across the street. She made sure the linen was nice and clean. We had a feeling you were coming today, so we made sure that the room was ready for you.
You're always so prepared. I've always appreciated that.
Yeah, you know me, Scarlet. Only the best for you. Right, well, you have a good night, all right?
Bless your heart, sir.
Have a good night. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
So you start to kind of finish up your stuff. You also notice there's some soup on the table that he kind of slipped you. He said, "It's on me, by the way. Didn't want to get rid of the rest of it, so don't worry about paying for it. Besides, the bottom's the best part."
It always is. I appreciate it.
Right. Right, Scarlet. Don't forget to lock up before you go to bed, please. Starts to walk off from the distance. Waves, goes back to his room in the back of the tavern. Some time goes by. The lights on the table, on the candles on the desks or the tables and the counter of the bar where you're at start to dissipate. Start to kind of fade away as time goes by. And the room starts to get quiet. All you hear in the background is crackling fire in the fireplace, which just start to going down to embers at this point in time. The soup you start to eat, you slowly start to finish it up. The drink, it's not always the best, but he has a good heart and intention. Always tries to do his best for you. And shove it off and start to feel a little tired. What do you do?
I'll just kind of do a usual investigation around the area, like around the room, see if it's safe.
Okay, go ahead and do an investigation roll for me. All right, so you're kind of tired. All right, you're tired. You're kind of groggy. You had a long day, a long day of tasks, a long day of everything else like that. So you don't really see anything that stands out. What do you do?
Well, I guess it seems safe. So there's nothing out of the blue, nothing unsafe. I should lock the door before I get ready to go to bed.
Okay. You go over and you lock the door. And you kind of look back at the room. And you get a feeling that, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this lifestyle. I'm not going to do anything different. Good people. Decent money. Not the best, but good enough. Always a room or a roof over your head. You get a feeling that the barkeep kind of has a thing for you, but kind of just brush it off. And the town is quiet. You start to make your way up the stairs. You look down, doors. You know exactly where it's at. Third door on the right. Go down. And you finally enter your room. Close the door. You lock it. What do you do?
As of right now, is there windows?
There is, if you look at the map. You're currently in the top corner room, top floor.
Oh, yeah, And there's, there's curtains and stuff like that?
There is curtains.
Okay, so, I'm gonna close all the curtains just again for your safety.
Okay.
To make her feel safer.
Okay.
And then we'll head straight to bed.
All right, so you go to bed. You start to close your eyes. You go to a deep sleep. At this point, time has gone by. Time has gone by for probably about 2 or 3 hours now. You're asleep. And all of a sudden, you start to hear a voice from the distance. Scarlet. Scarlet. What do you do?
It's these voices again. I don't know. This might be a nightmare. Not sure if I should follow. I'll try to go back.
All right, you try to go back to sleep. Before you do so, I want you to roll an investigation check real quick.
Okay. Oh God.
Jeez. Okay.
My roll.
All right. Well, scratch that. So you go back to sleep. You're just too groggy. You're just too groggy. You're just like, I'm just tired. I'm just gonna not even think about this. Okay. So some time goes by again. About an hour or so goes by again. Scarlet. Scarlet.
Voice. I guess I'm gonna go investigate. Yes.
Okay. Roll investigation check with me.
That's better.
Thank God. Okay. I was like, oh no, this is not gonna go well. All right. So you can tell it's coming from outside. Right outside your window. You don't know what it is, what's going on, because you're obviously not outside or looking out the window, but you know it's in that general direction. It's not anywhere behind you or anything else like that. It's directly outside your window. What do you do?
I guess if this voice is just gonna keep hearing things, maybe I should just go outside, get some fresh air, have a little walk around the town. But maybe that'll help me go back.
You want to walk outside? You don't want to look out first?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's look outside.
Okay. You go over to the window.
Do that.
You don't see anything. You start to go back in the direction towards your bed. Kind of like, okay, well, there's nothing there. That's fine. It is what it is. And all of a sudden, you hear it again. Scarlet. Scarlet.
Oh, there's something out there at the window. Maybe it's down by the bar.
Scarlet. Do you want to look out the window again?
Yeah, I'll look out the window.
Okay. You're gonna look out the window again. This time, you think you don't see anything. All of a sudden, you see a figure across the street. Across the street, you start to see some eyes appear from the distance. And all of a sudden, you see a white wolf appear to walk. And it sits right next to the light post and stares right at you.
Why is there a wolf out here? That doesn't make sense. I thought white wolves, they got wiped. Oh,
Scarlet. Scarlet.
I'm wondering, maybe I should go check. Maybe there's something wrong with that wolf. I don't want to make sure he's okay. Maybe it's injured or something. So I would like to go to the wolf and see if it's
So you go
injured
downstairs?
Yeah.
So you go downstairs, you walk out to the door. You pause for a second. A little hesitant at first. You don't know exactly what's going on. And so you slowly start to open the door. And you look out. And as you start to walk out, the wolf gets up and starts to walk in this direction. Scarlet. Scarlet.
It seems. Wait, can I see it like walking?
Yes, you can see it start to walk away because you're over here now. You're on the steps. So you can look out and you can see it walking away.
Well, the wolf seems okay. I should follow it, but before I do, I better make sure it's safe around this town because it is in Crothia, because it is late at night.
It is late at night. It is in town Crothia, yes. Go ahead and roll your investigation for me.
And I also would like to see if, like signs of the troll clan's here, because she doesn't want to feel like she's,
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Uh, 17.
Okay, I want you to roll one more for the troll clan. Okay. First question, is it safe? Nothing stands out to be concerning to you at all. Nothing stands out to be of a concern of life and death kind of thing. But there's no trolls, as far as you can kind of gather.
So I'm gonna follow the wolf.
Okay. You start to follow the wolf.
Yeah.
Where do you? Okay. The wolf starts to move direction out from town. You continue to walk more and more. And as you do so, you get to here. Now, the wolf at this point is about right here. Oh, actually about right here. And you're probably about, I would say, right here. The wolf continues to move past the city in this direction. Scarlet. Scarlet. The wolf stops over here. Sits and turns around and stares at you. in your court. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna again check my surroundings, but also at the same time move towards the wolf as well.
Okay.
Once the check is done.
Okay, go ahead and roll your check.
Same one?
Yeah, do an investigation check. You don't see anything life-threatening around you this time.
I'll move. There.
Okay. Before you can get to him, he walks off in the direction of here. Now it's not daytime. I just want you to know that right now, okay? The mask's gonna show it being daytime, but it's not daytime, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, she does have dark vision anyway.
Yeah, I know. So you're here. You start making your way down across the bridge. At this point, the wolf's about right here. Continues to move. He looks back to see if you're still following him. Scarlet. Do not be afraid. What do you do?
Well, it seems to be safe from where I went. This wolf doesn't seem to be leading me anywhere dangerous. I'll continue to follow it.
Okay, you continue to move forward more and more. You finally make it out of town, past the city gates, past the sorry, I gotta find where my thing went. To the city gate area here, on the outskirts of town. You finally make it through. And as you do so, I gotta find where my map went. There it is. You come to a point here. And it's starting to rain. The wolf is about right here. And you are about here. The wolf finally takes you into the forest next to a stream. Stops and turns around and sits. What do you do?
Oh, it's been a while since I've... This has been a while since I've stepped into a forest. So long ago since I looked at beautiful trees and felt grass. And the water is absolutely beautiful.
Scarlet. You have forgotten.
Forgotten?
You have forgotten your purpose. Your calling.
I'm not sure what you mean. I don't... What? I thought maybe helping everyone out with...
From the distance, you start to hear a song. A song that you have not heard for quite some time. And you start to hear this song playing.
It's been a long time hearing that.
You have forgotten who you are.
God?
You have forgotten where you've come from, your calling, your purpose. You've forgotten who you are. The wolf starts to move forward, closer to you. And as he moves closer and closer to you, you see from behind him, or behind this wolf, another one appear. By the river. Make its way up to you and sit down. And sits there. You have forgotten your calling and your purpose, Scarlet.
It does feel nice to be around nature. Smelling the beautiful trees and the water.
You've forgotten. You start to think back on all these missions that you have been on, and you realize that the actual events that you've experienced, there's been a figure in the background. Every single event that you've been to. And it was a white wolf. The same white wolf that's now before you. Scarlet, I have always been there with you. Nature has always been there with you. But you have forgotten your purpose and your duty, or who you are.
I was scared to come back here. What if he's here? What if the Arganestan clan's here? This is why I didn't want to come here.
Scarlet, you need not be afraid. This wolf, and this is new, guys. This is something new she hasn't experienced, but I'm putting a little bit of a twist, so just for my viewers, she's not noticed this before. This wolf approaches forward from you. And pretty soon, you see a bright light. You try to shield your eyes from this light, and pretty soon, the light dissipates. And as you take away your hand, in front of you stands a familiar figure, one of a druidic background. He comes up to you, puts a hand on your shoulder. Scarlet, I know you're in there. I know you remember. Remember who you are. You are my daughter. The true heir of the Druidic clans, the true rightful rulers of the Druidic clans.
You have strayed away too far. You have strayed away for too long.
At this point in time, the other wolf approaches slowly, and you see another bright light. And behind him stands a woman. This one you recognize very vividly. It was the last person that you saw of the Druid clans. That was your mother. Now stands behind this gentleman.
You guys, wait. You guys are okay? Wait. Druids can do this? Forgive me, I didn't realize.
My dear, we're not here in physical form anymore, but in spirit form, one with nature, one with the universe. Our spirit lives on. You see, we have a circle which we belong to, that connects us with nature. It drives us and pushes us to who we are. You see, your ancestors have always been here with you, have always been close, have always been close by.
And at this point, from the background by the rivers, you start seeing these lights appear. These lights appear, and pretty soon you see these animals start to appear. From all around. Across the river. They start to take shape of animals. These lights. And they become more and more in tune with nature. They take shapes of bunnies, deers, bears, wolves. They start to encircle around you as they cross the river. And pretty soon your father turns around and your mother turns around. Facing this way. And as these animals are facing the two wolves that you just, one from that's your mother. These entities now bow. Your mother, the one that you know is your mother, turns around and bows. What do you do?
The wolf that's bowing, I let I let the wolf kind of sniff her hand, and
Well, she's bowing to the other wolf that's in front of you.
oh, sorry.
So the
wait,
wolf
what?
that was in front of you turned around, and these
Oh,
entities are now lined up across on the river. So they're actually like over here. They're all over here. Okay. The wolf that's behind the wolf that you were talking to now faces you two and is now bowing to the wolf that's in front of you that's now facing away from you towards the group.
I'll move up beside the wolf that's in front of me and bow beside him. Like here,
Okay.
and then bow like there.
Okay. He turns and looks at you.
I know you're in there, Scarlet. I know you're in there. You only need to look farther in.
So after she bows, I'll move her to go here. Like just kind of in front of the river.
Okay. What are you doing?
Just the kind of just soaking in, I guess, the nature of being around it, and touching the water gently. You know what I mean? Like just feeling around for being around nature again, kind of slowly remembering what it's like to be around it. Because obviously the last time she was around it, it was very traumatizing for her. So she's
Right.
trying to slowly remember. Yeah.
So from behind you, you don't see this, but from behind you, your father, who you don't know is your father at this point in time. You can have a recollection that it's your father. Moves forward. The animals split way across the path. The woman stops him. And your mother comes up to behind you. And puts your hand, his hand, or her hand, so you're facing that way, by the way. Your hand, or her hand, on your shoulder.
I'll put her hand, like Scarlet's hand, on top of the same hand that's on the shoulder, and turn around and face her.
Scarlet. I know you're in there. And I know that you're afraid.
I'm scared if I use any of these powers that I was given. I'm scared that Organism's gonna find me. What if he finds me?
We will be close by. We will always be close by. You need not be afraid. My darling daughter, you are never alone. But you must look inside yourself and know and remember who you are. From every insect on the ground, every blade of grass, to every animal, you must be one with them. You must remember Know that there are others always watching. Others looking out. It is their duty to protect the princess.
No offense, but you must have thought I was failing you just watching me just not being here. Out here.
At this point, you're also just remembered. For a long time, you've completely forgotten that you are the princess. And it just hits you who these two people are. You're in the presence of King Atkin and your mother. Your father and mother. Two that you know were killed. Your father moves up next to your mother, puts his hand on your face, wipes away the tear from your eye. And tells you,
"You're my daughter. You have the spirit of the wolf inside you. You just need to unleash it. But to do that, you must become one with nature. And only that can be done with accepting with who you are. You are my daughter, Scarlet. My heir. The rightful ruler of Dustfall. I know it's a long journey and a long road ahead of you, but you are not alone."
and you point up, and he points up behind you. And you start to see a light from behind you. You turn around and you look up and you can't see who it is. At this point, you don't realize who it is. Okay. But just so the viewers know, again, I'm adding new things, new little twists to this. So I hope Curly is okay with it.
Oh yeah, I'm totally fine.
From behind you, you see a light, a figure with wings, but you cannot see his face. But you see a figure, an outline with wings. Just floating in the air.
You see, we're not the only ones watching for your safety. You're not in this fight alone. And you mustn't do it alone.
Your father turns you back around.
Well, that figure up there is making me feel safer. How can I prove to you that I haven't forgotten?
You must become one with nature.
Becoming one with nature is the only way.
They step aside, stand on either side of you. Your father on one side, other on the other. And these figures, or these spiritual animals, entities, come up to you. They're actually more, their parents are more behind you. They come up to you. Not one by one, but as a group, in front of you. And they start to bow. One by one.
You see, you need only to unleash your spirit.
Now,
I did DM you, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that.
I actually already have something planned, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I need you to do a I need you to do, you're gonna like this. Again, something new that's not happened. So, I hope she likes it.
I probably will. He never disappoints.
Let's see here. It's gonna be... Yeah, we're gonna do that one instead. Go ahead and do a nature check for me real quick. Por favor.
16.
Yes! Thank goodness it worked. All right. Your father puts his hand on your shoulder.
Scarlet, I need you to close your eyes. Look deep inside. Look deep. Listen to the sounds around you. Listen to the rain on the ground, the water stream. The chirping of crickets. Beating hearts of nature. The wind blowing in the trees as the trees shake. Look inside.
And as you do this, you start to feel it. You start to see things around you that you've never seen before. Hear things you've never heard before. The hoof sounds of an animal running in the distance across the grass. Cry of a baby deer calling for its mother. The purring noise of a panther in the background. The wind blowing in the trees as the rain falls upon the leaves in the ground. You start to become one, closer and closer with nature. And pretty soon, you feel something inside of you. And it builds and it builds. And pretty soon, this power, it feels different. All of a sudden, you feel something come up and shoot up outside of your body. And you look out and you see in front of you Something that you thought you would never see. You see a wolf in spirit form. It's a young one. Just a little young one. But in spirit form. All of a sudden, turn and look at you. And pretty soon you start to see your mother and father. Oops. You see your mother and father walk up to it. And as they walk, they transform into their wolf form again. They look at you. On either side of the spirit form wolf that has now just come out from your body. Your father speaks.
You see, it lives in you. Its purpose, its mission, its calling lives in you. But you must let it go. This fear, this regret, this anguish of who you once were must be gone. For you see, when you become one with nature, you become one with us. You become one with your ancestors. But most importantly, you become one with who you are.
And in front of you, your mother and father walk up. They stand aside as this little wolf walks up and sits right in front of you. And bows. You reach your hand out, and as you do so, this wolf, spiritual wolf, all of a sudden takes its head and rests its head in the palm of your hand as you reach out, hand facing down. What do you do?
I look up at the winged figure that's, if it's still above, just again, for precaution.
Okay.
And, you know, kind of to fully make sure that she's still safe.
As you do that, the figure, still floating there in the air with its wings. You can make out a head, but you can't really see it because of the bright lightness of it. But you see him start to bow as well.
So then what she'll do is she'll bow as well to the spirit wolf and kind of pet it gently right behind its ear.
Okay. Anything else?
And afterwards try to do like a little prayer / meditation to try her best like how she used to.
Okay. You just prayer / meditation. And as you do that, this wolf all of a sudden is drawn back into you. Your eyes, all of a sudden, the sight that is seen is your eyes open as your pupils change to wolf eyes. And yes, you become a wolf. In front of your mom and dad. So we're going to delete you, and then we're going to change this over to you. I'm allowing you to become a wolf. Just don't get too greedy with it, okay? You become a wolf. You're now in front of your parents in wolf form. When your parents are in wolf form. What do you do?
So I'm gonna have a bit of humor to this. So I'm gonna kind of get used to the feel of being a wolf. So kind of like
You stumble and
walking
fall. You stumble
yeah,
and
you know,
fall.
like walk around,
Yeah.
try to like feel what it's like to chase the tail. You know, dig a little hole. You know, like kind of
Okay.
feel what it's like to be that animal.
Okay. Then what?
And then I'm going to howl after.
You
Once I feel
howl.
visible for a little bit.
You howl. However, something else happens. Your mother and father howl. And from the distance, you see clouds start to separate. The wind change in the distance. And at this point, you have a different mindset. Your father or your mother look at you and they tell you,
You must hold on to your inner self. Do not stray away from it.
I'll try my best. Mom and Dad, I know I failed you the last little bit. And I'm sorry for that.
your mother and father do the wolf or the dog hug. Your mother down below, underneath your neck, your father above. They then howl in the background, and pretty soon you see the animals behind you bow. And as the wind blows, their entities start to dissipate. The winged figure lands over here. Wings fold in. He's still lit up, so you can't really see him. And walks in the direction back to town. Your mom and dad rub noses with you. They walk towards the river. And as you turn away, I need you to roll a Constitution check for me.
That would be checking, like, clicking the plus.
Yeah, just hit the Constitution. No, it's just hit the Constitution. It should roll for you. Oops. Oh, where'd it go? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this one.
Alright, I got it. Well, I'm gonna
No,
save it.
you rolled a 20. So, that works. So, what is going on? No, don't do that. Sorry, folks. Hold on a second. I clicked the wrong tab by accident and brought me to a different window. So, give me a second. All right, I'm back. Okay. All right. So, you rolled a 20. Okay.
Yeah. Unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20.
Unnatural, yeah.
All right. Okay. Your parents start to walk away in this direction, across the river. And you hear from the distance as they walk away.
Remember who you are. Remember.
And as they do that, they dissipate in the distance. You're now alone in the forest. What do you do?
I was gonna say, I kind of get a little more comfy around nature, so kind of run around a bit, jump in the water, you know, roll my back a little bit. Like, yeah, still getting used to the wolf, enjoying nature again, slowly remembering.
Okay. At this point in time, while you're doing this, you hear some background noises, horse hooves from a distance, starting to make their way towards see, I want to do this one. Let's do this one. Okay, so at this point in time, you start making your way, rolling around, and you hear horse footprints, horse hooves rolling the way back towards the town, and you hear yelling and screaming. I need you to roll a Constitution check with me, but I need you to do it with disadvantage for me. God damn. All right, so you start running towards the town. Okay. You're gonna start moving this way, back towards the town. The hooves get louder and louder, and the yelling gets louder and louder. Your heart starts to race. I need you to roll another Constitution check with me, with disadvantage.
Okay. There you go. There
Thank you.
Forward.
So you start making your way back towards the town. As you do so, you're running, and pretty soon you start to transform back into your human form as you run out of the woods towards the town. Now, as you run towards the town, you see a figure that you remember on horseback, and you recognize it. And it's Thois on horseback. Okay? But you look a little bit closer. Now he's riding a gray white horse kind of thing right now, okay? And you look closely and you see red on the back of the horse. And you see a black figure. Now you remember Thois and Kiara. You know who they are. Who's usually right beside Thois? Who's usually right beside him? on the ground.
It seems like it could be.
It'd be Kiara. Whoever-
well, yeah.
Wherever Thois goes, it's Kiara. Kiara is usually following suit. But you notice one thing. Kiara is not around. So what can you assume?
That something happened to her.
Something happened to her. And he's riding back into town. And you look behind him and you see from the distance more riders riding out behind him faster and trying to keep up with him. And he's bolting towards the town, trying to make it back into the town. At this point in time, you then start to make your way into, start to run back towards the town. Now you're not able to keep up with them, the rest of the group, but you're able to, get into town before they do. And you get back to, where is it at? It would be this one. Yes. Memory lane. Memory lane. Talk about memory lane, right?
Yep.
All right, you're gonna see your a sight that you kind of remember. All right. Now my viewers should remember this scene. You should remember this scene as well. So Curly, I'm gonna tell you, or I'm gonna ask you if you remember this scene.
Yes.
She's like, yes, I do. You are now in the town of Crothia. You made it past, the guards and everything else like that. You see in front of you the sight of Thois in tears. Now, Echo and them are not able to. They're not approaching yet. They're close by, but they're not here quite yet. You try to push your way through the crowds, and you hear talking in the background behind them. Oh no, what's happened? What's happened? Oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. This is horrible. This is bad. What's gonna happen to Crothia? And you finally make your way through the crowd in the corner where you are right now. And you look out and you see Kiara breathing lightly, Thois in tears. Now they're not approaching yet because you made contact with Thois before they came up to. Okay, so we can go into the interaction that they had before Echo and them came in. Okay, so you make it in. You see Thois and Kiara. Kiara is on the ground with an arrow in her. Her breathing is slight, and she's losing a lot of blood. And you see Thois on the ground kneeling to Kiara in tears, crying. What do you do?
I am gonna run up to Thois.
Okay, you're gonna move up to Thois. Okay, so go ahead and move up to Thois.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thois, what happened? Oh, jeez. Come here. And I give him a hug and wipe his tears with my thumb.
He starts to embrace you. Takes a second. He looks back at Kiara. And you know his heart is so entwined with Kiara. He pushes you slightly away and tries to hold Kiara's head and try to tell her to hold on. Hold on. The sight that you saw was him running in and Kiara falling to the ground off the horse. That's the sight that you saw. That's when he got off and kneeled down. he's in so much tears right now. And he said, started talking to her, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? Don't do this to me. And that is where we're going to end our spirit walk. So, I hope you enjoyed the content that you saw. I hope it kind of sums up a little bit about what happened with Scarlet. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you kind of brought a little bit light into the situation about what happened. And what we're gonna do actually is from right here, we're gonna go ahead and go straight into our recap with her, because I've done one with everyone else, and so I gotta do one with her. So give me 1 second. We're gonna go that off, that on, and that on. All right, and we're going to go ahead and go to this one. All right, so Miss Scarlet, we're gonna go ahead and jump to you for a second. So, thoughts. I know it wasn't exactly how it went before, but thoughts, and yeah. What were your thoughts?
I actually like this one better because I think because the first time when we did the Spirit Walk, it wasn't actually geared towards this campaign at all. It was actually connected to a different one. But I like how this one felt like it made more sense and more logical to what we've currently experienced, and what the viewers have seen in the past. So it definitely fits it better and ties it better. Because my other one kind of didn't so much. So where this one really does. And you all know what happens after at this point. She obviously heals Kiara eventually. So it kind of just makes sense how everyone meets her and wondering who the hell she is.
Right, and it kind of it flowed too, because the whole experience with everything and how emotional she's been too. So Scarlet's been very emotional in the last, last 8 sessions that we've been. She's been very emotional, and for somebody who supposedly went through a spirit walk a while ago, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But for somebody who just went through a spirit walk, who's just starting to try to get a little bit more in tune with everything, it makes more sense. You know what I mean? So, what's kind of walk us through a little bit. I know you've done it with me already before and with the members a little bit already, but kind of walk us through what Scarlet's thinking. What's her mindset? Walk us through Scarlet's thoughts through this whole thing.
So for that spirit walk especially, not only does it tie into this campaign specifically, but also kind of hopefully gives you guys a clear idea. I do like the switch of her turning into a wolf instead, and had to add a little bit of humor in there, like a little kid enjoying how to be a wolf kind of thing. I really enjoyed that and how it really ties into her transforming into animals, which I haven't done yet with her. So I was actually going to that giant war, but then something else happened. But yeah, no, it's definitely helping me in a way to be more of a druid and not just realizing how powerful druids can be naturally. Because I'm noticing, aside from as usual characters, they always get stronger and stronger, but I feel like with druids in general, there's more of a complication with them in a way, but in a good way. And really reflecting on her being a wolf and what her clan's all about. And why it is called the Order of the Wolf, because her father's was a part of that. So, yeah.
So kind of tell us too, it really ties in really well too, because you had just gone through a spirit walk when this happened. You had just experienced everything through the spirit walk. And then all of a sudden, this happens. But do you remember what happened during this scene?
So I remember her pushing her out of the way. Remembering that Thois is very, very close to Kiara and everything, and how she healed him.
But what,
all the other
what appeared in the back corner behind the group? And what did you hear?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the wolf and her clan, how they were close.
Mm-hmm. Her father, remember how he nodded and looked back at you and nodded and walked away? That's where it really comes down to. I think it really ties in really, really well. I made it really work really well with this whole situation. But ultimately, I think for Scarlet, she's still trying to figure out everything. And I think this whole campaign, she's still trying to figure out who she is as a whole, with everything else that's been going on. So for her, I think it's really beneficial in the end, because just in general, it's been a lot. A lot's happened to her in the last, 8 sessions, 10 sessions actually. A lot has happened, and to the point where she's now where she's at, to the point where it's an emotional roller coaster. It really is. Any last thoughts or anything about how it went?
Going off of what you said with the wolf, now it came back to me when you remembered it. For her, she needed that confirmation that she was always doing the right thing. And then when her father was there, watching over her when she was helping Thois and Kiara out, it just makes sense. Like, it almost confirms that she's doing the right thing and going in that right direction, because she needs a lot of direction. As you can kind of see in the other sessions later on, she needs a lot of guidance because she doesn't really understand herself. So with her father being there in the corner, and nodding his head like that, confirming that she's doing the right thing and was meant to meet the people that you all know in the campaign. So. Right,
and she gets a lot of confirmation from her spirit familiars, or her spirit entities that she's and around, all the way from your parents to even Thois. Now later on, we're going to be doing a session with her here soon, kind of giving you a scope of what happens that the rest of the campaign doesn't see, but it's going to be something that her and Thois and her are going to be a little bit more in tune with what's going on, because of the fact that their relationship, but also because they're not even around at this point in time with them. So it's something where it's going to tie into with everything else, and I don't want to have it be like, okay, we're going to take a side step and it's going to be like a 5-hour session kind of thing. So I want to kind of do one with her again, with following what happened in the last episode, which I am so surprised that it's lasted, oh gosh, almost 10 episodes?
Yeah, it's been, I think, since July?
This has been a long campaign, but it's good. I mean, it's good. The storyline's still there, and a lot's happening, and most importantly, the characters are what's driving this, and most importantly, Curly, Echo, and Eris are the ones that are really driving this, in the direction that's going. So, any last comments or thoughts or anything?
No, but I will say, compared to the first time, I remember going through the first one with you, I thought she was gonna die. I actually did the first time around. I remember this. So I remember like hesitating on the choices and how Bullets was very
I was like,
gentle with me to, like,
come on, Curly, come on,
steer
you'll be
me.
fine, just do it. And then she's like, I don't want to get, God damn it, Curly, just do it.
Yeah.
Let's give her a little push. I'll give her a little push in the right direction. And she finally did it. So,
Yeah, which helped. But
I'm really, the thing is that I have an idea of what I want to do with these characters in the campaign. But I think one of the things that I think especially Curly appreciates is that I let them direct it. I let them direct where it goes. I let them direct what happens in regards to their character, whether it be good or bad. Just, you know, it is what it is. And I think overall, that's the best way to run a campaign. The best way to run a campaign is to let your characters run it. And they're the ones that decide how long it goes. And a lot of these times I have a general, just a very vague idea of what I want to do. A very big idea of what I want to do. But ultimately, most of the time, this stuff, it just comes to me. It just comes to me in the heat of the moment, and I figure out, okay, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this. And then pretty soon it's like, okay, well, I can build off of this, this, and this, and this. And that's how it works. And what I try to do is when you see me paint these pictures of certain things, of certain towns, of certain experiences and things like that, it's because what I'm doing is I'm literally picturing it in my head as I'm saying it, in the direction where I'm going. Now I have like I said, I have a general idea of where I want to do, a general idea of what's going to happen, but there are so many times, and it's no offense to my players, it's so annoying. I have these plans made up. I have these ideas I want to do, and then they have to choose the freaking wrong decision. And I'm like, gosh darn. All right, well, it's back to square one again. What the hell am I going to do now? Okay, well, let's just do this. We'll just roll with this. That's what it comes down to. That's why I said these characters are the ones that determine what happens. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that's lasted this long. I haven't thought it would go this long. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be a 6 or 7 session. We're on 10. I can see this going at least another 10 more, and having the first season end. And it's great, and I hope everyone's enjoying it. I hope everyone's enjoying the experience that they see. But it's a fun experience for not just only myself, but for my characters. There's been times where even Curly was like, I want to play D&D so bad right now. I want to play D&D so bad. I need to do it. I need to get my D&D fixed. I'm like, okay, calm down. I'll figure something out. So it's like, it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool to have that experience. So, all right. Well, if there's nothing else you want to add, Miss Curly, I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and call it an end on this stream. And what we'll do is we're going to actually go into our ending screen right now. I appreciate everyone coming out, enjoying what they're seeing, enjoying what they're doing, enjoying what the characters are doing. It's a really big deal. I really appreciate the people coming out and supporting us, our sponsors as well. It really drives a lot of the characters here to see that there's people that are actually enjoying this, people are actually invested into this. The reason why I did Spirit Walk with Curly today was because a lot of people were asking me, okay, what the hell is going on with Curly? What the hell is going on with Scarlet? Like, we don't know what's going on. You've done Spirit Walks with everyone else, but like, what about Curly? What the hell? What's going on with Curly? And so I was like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to answer a lot of questions, hopefully, by doing this. And I think we did. I think we answered quite a bit of questions of how this whole thing transpired, of how Curly's backstory was involved, and who she was before, and who she is now. And kind of hopefully painting a picture of the struggle that she's experiencing right now as a member of the Order. So, Yeah. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out our sponsors, Rogue Energy, AK Racing, and W Energy. Click the links and show them some love. Buy some stuff. Use the code BULLS29. Get 10-15% off your purchase. And we'll see you back here very soon. We're going to do our session with Curly here in a second. So don't go away. We'll see you soon. Have a good one.